Good morning, team. Or should I say good afternoon, since we're rolling into noon. Hey, Tiana. Good morning.
Good morning.
Are you in DC yet?
Mhm. No, I go tomorrow.
Head out tomorrow.
Yep.
Fantastic.
Pray for me because I've been around too many people.
Oh no, not feeling well.
It's not feeling yet, but like, the little throat tingle
Yeah.
is
Yep.
starting.
That
So
means you
I'm
need you
not
need to
sick
load up on
yet.
some meds today.
I know. I'm about to drink some tea in a minute,
Yes, please do.
but not sick yet. We are going to rebuke that.
Right. Yes, we are. Absolutely. We shall not claim that at all. Well, hang in there. And we got to fly tomorrow, so I get it.
I know. Oh my gosh. I'm about to wear 10 masks.
Please do. Oh, I get it. Oh, that's awful. I hate flying, not feeling well. It's just the worst.
Agreed. Oh, we
Right.
got new people.
Saroni, are you there?
Maybe. Mhm.
Hey, Miss Ebony. Oh, we got, let's see here. Okay.
Hey, Alan.
Hey, Eb. Hey, Saroni.
Hi.
How are you doing, young lady?
Good. I decided to thank you for calling me young lady. But yeah.
Of course.
Yeah, I decided to join these. I read I read your recap from the previous one. I was like, oh, okay, I should probably attend these.
There you go. That's what we're here for. Because this is your first one, right? I don't think you've been in one
Yes.
live yet. Okay. Okay. So be forewarned, I am gonna pick on you here in just a minute. But that's awesome though.
Okay.
I got Jonathan. How we doing?
Yo, it's all good. What up?
Man, I am fantastic. I am fantastic. Did you and Brittany have a good time a couple weeks ago? I guess last weekend?
That was the thing, the dinner. That was
Yeah,
last week.
yeah, the
That was
dinner.
last week. I don't know why I feel like, dang, man, life be moving, boy. Yeah, no, it was, it
Pretty
was, it
much.
was, it was excellent. We had a great time. Yeah, for sure.
Good.
We had a great time.
I'm glad to hear that. I
That
am
wasn't
glad to
last. That
hear
was
that.
last week.
Last weekend, yeah, the
Yeah.
30th.
Okay. All right.
I
I
know
just
it,
be
it,
doing
it
too
fe- it feels
much.
like a minute ago. It was just one, not this weekend, weekend before, but it feels like it was a minute ago. I'm with you too.
Nah, yeah, yeah, yeah. My kids out of school, so you know it's shit. It'd be different.
I I completely understand. I completely understand. I had to take my son, he's doing summer school. And so had to load up and take him, and it's not at the school that's like right at the edge of the neighborhood. Had to trek and find a new way and like, oh gosh, where is this at? So we're gonna see how that goes. So hopefully it's going well for him today. But he's going to fourth grade. He's going to fourth grade. So
Mine going to fifth, and they had a camp at Prairie View, so they're like 30 minutes from me each way.
oh really?
Yeah.
Ah. Yeah, that's a hike. That's a hike. So yeah, thankfully ours was only when I took my son, it was only about 10 minutes away. So it's not too far, but it's not like the 90-second drive that I'm used to and first day there, but we'll see how his day goes. Um Miss Alexia, hello. Welcome. Glad to see you.
Hi, how is everybody?
Doing
Mhm.
well. Miss
Made it to
Anika,
my first
hello.
my first live one. Yay.
I know. I'm excited. So we have a couple of newbies. So FYI, I'm a pick on y'all. So Alexia, give us I'm gonna pick on you. Just give us kind of like, a little bit about you. Tell us about yourself. Tell us about your practice, your credentials, who you serve, and give us a fun fact about you.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
I
Let's
know,
see.
I know. We
All
pick on
right.
people the first time.
Okay, I got it. So, oh goodness. So starting with where I'm from. Wait a minute, run that back again. That happened real
Sorry, that
fast.
was kind of fast. So tell us a little bit about your practice,
Okay.
right? So tell us about your practice. Who do you serve? Like, who's your ideal client? Do you niche? What's your
Mhm.
practice look like? And then, just give us a fun fact about yourself.
Okay, gotcha. Okay. So, well, my name's Alexia. I am a licensed professional counselor. I've been in practice for the past, I would say 6 to 7 years. Um, my practice is the Divine Perseverance. That name came from just the perseverance of humanity through all things. Um, my niche is primarily Zennials, people in between that millennial to X age, primarily women who are from marginalized communities. And those who um, tend to overfunction, have chronic stress, tend to be workaholics, and are kind of feeling the effects of that cumulative stress of always being kind of like the strong one, the one that people look up to, etc. Let's see. I primarily have private practice individual clients, but I'm looking to move into and pivot into more thought leadership around mental health and context so we can stop kind of like treating the mental health crisis as a um, individual issue, it's a systems issue, it's a cultural issue,
Mhm.
etc. Fun fact about me, um, I am a mom, but not traditional. I heard y'all talking about kids and stuff. I am a dog mom and I'm a plant mom. I have a 7, 8 year old Chihuahua named Lola. And I have a Monstera that's about 7 feet tall. Her name is Tabitha. We also call her Big Mama. Um, she just had a baby that's over there. She's in the, I just propagated her, so she's over there. And then I have a garden outside that I just started. I have cucumbers, garlic, and thyme. Yes. And then I have one more plant. Her name is Natty Bow, named after the cheap beer in Baltimore, because when I first got her, she was covered with gnats. And now she is thriving. So that's my story.
I love that, Alexia. I love that. Um, you and Anika might need to get together because she recently started her garden journeys and adventures.
An
Um,
adventure, that's for sure.
Goodness. No, and she has some good stuff growing too. So y'all can geek out about gardening stuff.
Mhm.
I love
Absolutely.
it. Fantastic. Now, okay, next question for you, Alexia. Zennials, what's the current age range? Because I think I'm a
Yeah.
Zennial.
Okay, yeah, yeah. So Zennials
Because
are
I'm an
that
old
micro.
millennial, I believe.
Yes, yes, it's interesting. So Zennials are the micro generation between Generation X
Hmm.
and traditional millennials. So the year of birth is usually between 1978 to
Hmm.
1982. So it's kind of like that little range right there. You also
Hmm.
might hear it called elder millennials. So
Hmm.
I heard you
Hmm.
say old millennials, so elder millennials, things of that nature. Yes. And very unique situation, I think, for all of us. I think that we kind of came in this where we started, where everything was still very in person and still personalized. And
Hmm.
as we were coming of age and building our lives together, everything became analog and digital. So there's
Hmm.
a unique set of stressors. I think a specific nervous system profile for people who fall into that age. And I think one
Hmm.
of the biggest functions of it is over functioning. It doesn't matter how good, how much hard we work, we still feel like we need to do more. It doesn't matter how much. So yeah, I could go all day on them. So that's
Okay,
the
interesting. So I will say I am just outside of that age range, but I still very much so identify
okay,
as
gotcha.
as a Zenny. I guess I'm 2 years younger.
Two
Just two,
years
but I'm
younger. Okay, you're close.
still right still yeah, still right in there because it's funny because yeah, we talk about that all the
Mhm.
time. Actually, we talked about that on here a few weeks back. on just kind of that age range. And it was like even when I was younger and working and whatnot, I would never like take PTO, just, felt like you just, needed to work.
Okay, hold on.
Right, exactly. Just like I said, as much
Mhm.
as you get done, you still feel like there's more to do. So I very much
The
so identify
the
as a
address I
zenny.
sent you is 50.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, so no, I love that. I love that.
Yeah,
No,
and
thanks for
I
sharing.
think that there's a unique profile around the traumas that we've endured too. Nine
Mm-hmm.
11, the drug bust,
Mm-hmm.
incarceration, and so I think that
Mm-hmm.
creates a certain level of hypervigilance that keeps us working all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So, but anyway,
Mm-hmm.
I want funding for that, and I haven't been able to find anybody who will fund like what is it, I guess, like research for it. Yeah, so
Mm-hmm.
age range, what, like I always use it by the year, so like 1970, if you were born 1978, 77 to 1982, 83ish, so it's kind of like that little
Mm-hmm.
window,
I'm a
so like
zennial. I'm a zennial, Tammy.
mhm, yeah, yeah.
She said
Does any of that land though, Ebony? Does any of that
1978.
1978, 77?
See, she said the 77. Come on.
It's interesting because again, it's a micro generation, and so
Right,
it's really
right,
more
yeah.
so. It's mainly like kind of like it depends on what was happening socially, culturally at the time. That really
Yeah.
and depends on where you were and where your family was with the technology and all that type of stuff.
Oh
Mm-hmm.
If
well,
you
then
Yeah,
you
have
just
very true.
if you had boomer parents or if you had like younger parents, all that stuff.
you just put me
Definitely
back into
got
the
boomer
category.
parents.
Yeah, you can put me back over.
Yeah.
I grew up in the country, so yeah, it is. I
Okay.
don't. I was. I didn't have the. I did not have the technology or any of that until later on in life. So
Okay.
Uh,
Yeah.
I had
Yeah.
technology, but my parents were boomers. My dad was
Okay.
tech savvy, very
Your dad
well.
was texting.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. I think it depends on to technological advances. So Tammy, you
yeah.
might fall more so because you picked up the tech around that time when you were, I guess, like maybe like going into your 20s and going into all that type of stuff. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And people who catch it later, it's different. So yeah. I'm
That is
sorry. I
so
could
that's
talk
so
all day
no,
on
no,
that.
this is good. This is so interesting because this has been very prevalent because like I said, we've talked about that here a few weeks back and some I've talked about with friends because like I say I'm just outside of that because
Mhm.
technically 84 but so
But
still kind
close
of
enough.
very much
Yeah, but
so
close
I
enough. Mhm.
identify but I do feel that draw where really grew up without technology, so you still know how to people, but then, you know, I had technology basically from like high school and
Mhm.
especially in college and learning, all of that all along. I tell my team now, I feel like I have fully vindicated like the D plus that I got in my initial computer science class in college. Principles of algorithm and design. I just knew I was going to be a computer programmer. I just knew I was, and no, that it just wasn't in the cards for me. But now with the
Mhm.
stuff that we're doing now with technology, I was like, oh wait, this looks pretty nice. I kind of
And
I
you're
kind of
pretty
like
good
this.
at
So
it. And you're probably better at it than some of your peers too.
I try to be. I try,
Uh-huh.
but hence
Yeah.
that insatiable competition mode that I have. So, anyways, we'll get going. Miss Cerrone, introduce yourself. Tell us about your practice. Tell us about what all your practice does, and tell us a little bit about you and a fun fact about you.
Hey, hi everyone. It's nice to see, let's see, Tammy. I've not seen you. And let's see, Ebony. But thanks for the opportunity to introduce myself. So yeah, I do have a mental health practice. It's called Ellie Mental Health. It's in St. Louis, Missouri, and it's a franchise. So it's a very different concept. It was born in Minnesota. Uh, I don't know, like quite a few years ago, 14 years ago, probably. They decided to franchise it in 2022. So just post pandemic. And then my husband and I, we signed the dotted line around 2022. I think they started 2021. So yeah, it's been a tumultuous journey because they're a new franchise system, but we're stabilizing, so that's good. Yeah, so I started the practice in 2023 April, opened the doors. So we just finished 3 years. Um, I am 15 therapists strong, and I'm not a therapist myself, or a counselor or any type of clinician, clinical. Um, but I have an awesome team. We are 15 therapists now, and I just crossed the 1,400 appointments scheduled this month. I'm so excited. So my goal
Congratulations.
is like 1,500 plus. So I'm very close to 1,500 plus. Yeah. So my therapist practice, I mean, we cater to all age groups of 5 years old and up. We have play therapists, we have an art therapist, we have a EMDR specialist, we have all the LGBTQ support. We have um, couples, we have family, we have uh, elderly, xenials. Just learned. I'm 74, so I'm like a tail end of Gen X. Can I just say that? Tail end of Gen X. Yeah, so it's been quite a journey. It's so part like Alexia, you were talking about who do you serve. Our mission is to serve those that can't afford cash pay and those that are not in crisis yet. So they're still at the point where we can do something about it, outpatient, before it becomes, before it's too late. In my life, I've experienced both extremes. I've got, my children who suffered mental health struggles, and I was able to, learn and, figure out how to help them. And so now they're thriving. I have a 18-year-old son who's in college and a 13-year-old who's starting eighth grade. And on the other end, I lost my sister to suicide in 2022, um, only to find out that she suffered for so many years since a teen, and we just didn't know. We had no clue. All we knew is she had depression. That was it. And we all know depression is usually a symptom of something else. So, anyway, long story short, here we are, 3 years. Came across Alan's services, and I am so thankful for that because we have a lot of work to do to get to the other end of the profitability and post profitability. So really looking for my clinic to be thriving to a point where I have a team of supervisors that ultimately earn shares into the corporation that we own. And that's a very lofty dream, not usually done in the mental health therapy world, but it's something my husband and I feel very passionately about. We come from the IT background and we're very privileged because we get a lot of great benefits. So Alan, you missed the boat on that one.
I did. I
but
did.
I have a day job at BMO because I do have to pay my bills. But so here we are. Fun fact about me, gosh, I feel like I told you everything. Fun fact. So I am a trained Indian classical dancer, and I have a parallel track going to become a mental health advocate speaker, doing a lot of work around that, building out a platform, building out I would say ecosystem, because I feel like I have one part of the ecosystem covered, which is the clinical care, right? Alexia was talking about how do you take the whole picture, you can't like, I just heard this, if I could just talk about this. I heard this say, I don't know who said that it was like a poem or something, but you can't like take water from take a bucket of water from the river and then take that bucket all the way into the woods and then study that water to understand the river, right? So that's what we're
Mm.
doing with mental health clinical care is we have that one person in the room, but what about the ecosystem that that person lives in? So I'm very passionate about that because I feel like there's so many families who don't have the language, who don't have emotional literacy. Generation X is one of them because our previous generation didn't have it either. So I'm very passionate about advocating for how do we find the language, how do we speak out, how do we have those conversations with our next generation so that we can catch the struggles earlier, to even get to the therapist office, right? That therapist office, if you're there, you've got something going, but even to get there, it's like, so I'm very passionate about that. I published a book last year on Amazon. It's called Hope Starts at Home. I can't
I
believe
was
it myself.
wondering
I
if you
actually
were going to
published a
lead
book, but
into
it was
that because I was going
really,
to say Saroni is an author as well.
yeah,
So, Saroni,
yeah. Self.
drop your book link in the chat for us too, so people can
Okay,
check it out.
I will. Yeah, I will do that. But I wrote the book specifically for parents and teens who are really trying to figure out that journey, that really dark space, before therapy begins. And I think that's an area that's really not talked about much. So very passionate about that. So I'm just using all, trying to become a speaker, and then also using my uh, dance for mental health, another mission that I'm sort of promoting. So wish me luck. I'm doing a lot.
Yay! You are doing a lot, but you're actually doing really great at it, Saroni. You really are. It's a lot you're taking on, but I know it's a long process. As they say, sometimes progress is a slow process. But you're doing it, and so yeah. So I'm glad you're here. But yeah, definitely please check out Saroni's book, Hope Starts at Home. Awesome. Well, I am glad everybody's here. I'm excited about today because today I want to piggyback off of what we talked a little bit about last week, and I almost want to use this as kind of like a live workshop, so to speak. Because I have some different ideas on increasing revenue. Because hey, why do we all, start businesses, run businesses, do what you guys do? You do it to help others, which is, the start of it. But how about we help others and make money at the same time? Those two things do not have to be mutually exclusive, as they say. We can do both. And so I have a few different ideas I want to, present to you guys. Because last week we talked a little bit about, different ways to increase revenue, have different offerings, outside of just, one-to-one services. So I want to dig just a little bit deeper into that. And I want to hear y'all's thoughts on kind of, what I put together, how we could actually incorporate this, in your practices, at least the beginnings of it. And so without further ado, let's go ahead and jump in. All right, here we go. So, one of the best ways to make more money is to present more options to clients. And so, one of the ways to do this is by offering um, different payment structures. Because what this allows you to do is meet clients where they're at. Because if you just have one flat revenue model where, you tell a client, hey, for a session it's 125, per session. Well, what if the client wanted to actually pay you more money? What if they want, additional services that, help them and help you make more money at the same time. So Those things are very possible. And so I know this is a very different thing in the therapy realm. However, as I always say, you guys are still running a business. You have to make sure that, we are doing it ethically, of course, and, protecting, clients' information and, doing the very best you can to serve everybody. But at the end of the day, it's still a business and we still want you to be profitable. And so let's jump into it. So the problem with the one revenue model is that this is what, typically most practices run on single revenue source, individual sessions where, your income is tied to your calendar. But the problem is that calendar has a very hard ceiling. Obviously, we can only have so many sessions per week. We don't want to overdo that because that's where, then burnout starts to come into place. You get, you aren't showing up as your best self for your clients when you have, too many sessions. And so when that's your only revenue path, that's the only way to make more money is to see more clients. But once again, that path leads to burnout, not really growth. So the revenue ceiling problem overall, trade time for money, calendar fills up before income goals are met. So, and then of course, no sessions, no revenue. So growth requires more of you always. Like no matter, what you're doing in your business, growth is going to require more of you. All right. So when we break down a business in general, there's only four ways to make more money. Literally only four. Um, and you can pull more than one lever at once, but these are really, if you think about it, these are really the only four ways to make more money in a business. You get more clients, so hey, that means we're adding more sessions. You can charge more per session. You can increase client value with packages, intensives, add-ons, giving them different value, different services, or you can increase retention. So, hey, well, a client typically, comes to us for 3 months. Well, how do we give them better service to where that 3 months turns into 6 months? So, of course, and in your realm, if they need, to be in therapy that long, of course. But these are really, if you look at a business in general, these are only four ways to make more money in a business. Get more clients, charge more, increase the value, or increase their retention overall. Um, so I want to know, as a test, who here in the last, say, 90 days has pulled either one of these four levers? Anybody? Alexia, nice. Okay, what have you done?
All right. So I, at least I also have a coaching arm of my private practice. And I have coaching packages.
Mm-hmm.
And it was something that I had been kind of sitting on. But I kind of like, offered it up to some of my old coaching clients just to test the waters. I increased the price. I was able to increase the price because I'm selling it more as a package. And
Perfect.
so that worked out really good. I'm
Nice.
actually in the process instead. I just created, or at least I'm trying to, in the early stages of creating a funnel for where most of my individual clients come through Psychology Today, all these other
Mhm.
places. And it always ends up with an individual session, but I'm actually pushing them more into a group
Mhm.
slash membership um,
Mhm.
kind
Mhm.
of setup that I'm
Yep.
starting. So I had like a free preview last week. No one has signed up yet, but I'm gonna, it's a
Keep at
weekly
it.
space. Mhm.
Yeah.
And the hope is that I'll get enough people to sign up for that.
Nice. That is fantastic. Has
Mhm.
anybody else pulled any one of these levers in the last 3 months? Anybody else? We gotten more
Can
clients,
you
charge more, increase value. Go ahead, Serena.
can you can you talk a little bit more about packages? Like what does that look like? Like how do you transition from someone coming in to do therapy and let's say they are using their insurance
Yep.
to then sort of a package
We
deal?
actually, I'm glad you asked. We're going to get into that in just a couple minutes, actually. So that's one of the pieces I want to go over with you guys to kind of Pick Your Brains is such a good group of private practice owners. So we're gonna get specifically into packages here in just a minute. So don't you worry.
Hey, y'all, I got
Um,
one.
yeah, what you got,
I
Jonathan?
just I just thought of one. So I brought my groups back. I keep doing that, right? And then so this
Hmm.
time I did a lower rate for people I'm
Hmm.
already seeing. And then
Hmm.
if you just coming in, if you just find me from up off the street or something, it's a little higher rate. So
Yep,
that's
I like
which and
that.
the lower one is what I was charging in the first place anyway. So I'm not really taking the L.
See there?
Yeah.
Perfect. Nailed it. Okay, I like that. That's good. Um, okay. So stop only asking, how do I get more clients? That's important and we want that, but once again, as we mentioned, as we're trying to grow revenue, we don't want that to be the only thing that we do. So getting more clients, of course, is the hardest, most expensive lever to pull. And yet it's the one that I hear from most therapists of they think about. So, but think about this. You can grow revenue by raising rates. If you think even by $10, $20, $25, one of the great things to think about here, because I was actually just having a client I think last week, and they were increasing their rates. I think they're at 175 and for private pay, and they were talking about going to 200. Well, what I mentioned is once again we have to think about pricing psychology, especially when you're private pay. And so I told her, I was like, hey, what we should actually do is go to 195, just because that 195 feels a lot lower than 200 does, and you'll probably get more people into that overall than what you lose by that $5 per session. So keeping that in mind. So, but raising rates is one. Creating packages instead of session by session. We'll go into that in just a minute. Adding a group program, exactly what you're talking about, Jonathan. And I know Tiana, you have a group as well that we've talked about. Offering a premium intensive. I know we talked just a few months ago, but looking at how do we, kickstart intensives. This is kind of to what you were just saying, Alexia, building a follow-up offer for past clients, kind of reaching out to those people who have, had interest before, and seeing if life has changed, if things are changed, if, hey, now they need some help, or maybe the pain is great enough for them to want to move forward. So, um, you probably have already have everything you need, just maybe not the right structure. So on growing revenue, um, has anybody done any of these things or thought about any of these items to implement?
I thought about the package structure, and actually, Alan, I don't know if you remember the guy I used to kind of work for, David. He did
Hmm.
package.
Oh yeah. Ah, nice. So yeah, we're gonna jump into the package offering here in just a second. So that's good. So three-tier revenue structure, because so guys, think about this. Um, Literally everything that you buy these days has some version of this. Um, if you think just going to fast food place, small, medium, large, just as simple as that. They start with the medium, or heck, sometimes they start with the small and charge you more for going to medium or going to large. Classic upsize. You look at Starbucks, you got three size offers there. You go to just about any service place and you have different packages. And so what the three-tier structure does, it allows you to capture the the client's willingness to buy. So you have to think about that in two different ways. One, some clients, no matter what, are top tier clients. Like some clients, no matter what, they're like, hey, if there's a VIP package, I'm looking at it, that's what I want. Some clients, no matter what, hey, I want the base package. That's who I am. That's what I'm gonna do. Some people, no matter what, are automatically skip over the base package, look at the middle tier package, and more, commonly relate to that. But guess what? The consistency is if you don't ever offer multiple prices, there's probably a chance where you're leaving money on the table. Where if you just have one set price for everything, you're probably leaving money on the table for those who would be willing to, you know, get additional services. Instead of maybe a 50-minute session, we, charge them separately for an additional 15 minutes per session, or have, different touch points with you, or, whatever the case might be. And that will go into to build out. But bottom line is, without offering those three different tiers, you're more than likely leaving money on the table. Mr. Roney.
Sorry, yeah, these are great ideas. I'm just maybe if we can walk through like what that would look like. So let's say I have a play therapist. She's
Yep.
phenomenal. She
Hmm.
has a dog. She has a couple of dogs, therapy dogs. And so I feel like this is a great opportunity because now we are very insurance heavy, right?
Right.
99% insurance.
Hmm.
So how to such a segment of people, like how do you then say, because I think you're right. You already capture them because you're, doing great job with therapy, and they
Hmm.
like in Brittany's case, she's always full. Her caseload is always full.
Hmm.
So, how do we then transition? Like, like you said, give them a list of these. Like, would you say like have sort of a tiered package that you would show the parents and be like, okay, if you need more intensive, or if you need maintenance, or you need, this is kind of what I offer, that kind of thing.
Exactly. Exactly. I think so. So here, let me see. Is that my next one or the one after? Um, so here's what we have. So yeah, we're gonna walk through this exact thing in the next, like, I think, two slides. So tier one, entry level, low touch, lower price, and scalable. So this is talking more of like the group. This isn't one-on-one sessions, but I have something for one-on-one sessions too. But so at the base tier, so this is more for if we're doing some version of, coaching programs, kind of what, Alexia was talking about, things along that nature, where the tier one is workshops and trainings. We have templates and guides, downloadable tools, workbooks, low cost memberships, monthly access, Q&A calls. And so this gets better and easier when you do have like a specific clientele, that you serve, a specific industry. So, if you have a niche, then this works perfect for that, because getting those people together just lends dividends to everybody. Hence, you guys are in it. Why I started something like this, because I think there's so much power and value in, you guys talking amongst each other, learning how different people do things, because that helps save you time, that helps save you heartache, helps you shortcut the process. So having a niche that you could do this with, that's great. So you have your entry level offer there. And so then group two would be more of a group offer. So serving multiple people at once. So this is where, the group comes in. As we talk about parent support groups, couple groups. So to your exact point, Saroni, maybe something we could do is, hey, if you have a play therapist, guess what? All of the parents of the children who are coming probably would gain something from being around those other parents in that. So maybe in your tier one, you get just the session, hey, but tier two, guess what? We have a community of other parents, where we do some skill building groups, where we have a support group where, hey, once a month, you get access to this online, class, or this online workshop that we're doing with other parents going through the exact same thing that you are. Because to me, there's just something so powerful about community with people, with like-minded individuals, people who are going through the exact same thing you are. So as we scale up, that could be something that we kind of put in that tier two, where, hey, they might just be coming in for the session, but you show them the three packages, they're like, oh wait, you know what, I think I would benefit from learning from these other parents who might be going through the same thing, and learning from, would you say, Brittany's your play therapist? Maybe have Brittany once a month do a, you know, special class or something for everybody. You see what I'm saying? Is that kind of making sense now? Go ahead, Sarani.
Yes, yes, it is. So here's what I wanted to ask. So let's say from a pay perspective, and I know a
Hmm.
lot of you are already like clinical yourselves, and you probably can do this for your own by yourselves. I can't. I have to rely on my therapist. So from a pay perspective, would I be like, for example, they have to do 25 minimum sessions a week, right? So if
Hmm.
we introduce this, like, does it become like sort of the same pay, or do we, is there a way to incentivize
Incentivize. Hmm.
the therapist, to do, I mean, if
Yeah.
they are handling a group, I think it would have to be a little bit of a higher rate,
Yep.
right? Something like that.
I agree. Yeah, no, no, I would absolutely agree. I would look at a couple different ways to do it, but you got to think if the clients are coming in, they're paying additional for, you know, that middle tier, call it, you know, if we say, you know, bronze, silver, gold, like this will be silver, kind of that middle package. Well, they're paying a little bit extra for this, so I think would only be fair, you know, to increase your therapist pay for doing that. You know, maybe it's a percentage of the people who are in there. You know, maybe it's a, you know, flat rate per group that they give. So if we say, hey, we're gonna have, you know, 10 clients, you know, who went for our silver tier, and you know, those are the ones that are paying for this session. Maybe they pay an extra, you know, $100 a month, you know, for that. Collectively, we have a total of 1,000. Hey, you know, maybe we, you know, look at it. Hey, for every, you know, monthly session, you get an extra $200, you know, 250, you know, something like that. You know, I think it would make it, you know, worthwhile overall for honestly for everybody involved.
Yeah, I really love this. I want to explore this with more with you,
Let's
Alan,
do
for
it.
sure, as part of our whole salary
Yep.
analysis.
Yes, exactly. No, yeah, let's do it. Oh, sorry, I had a question here. Um, so who could actually, what group could you run with clients already in your practice? I know, Soren, we kind of talked about you with, you know, maybe doing this for play therapists. Anybody else have ones that they think they could run a group in, you know, with the audience you already have with your current clients, so on and so forth.
I think I could.
Hmm.
I think I could. Hmm.
Okay.
Not even with my current clients, but maybe even with my current email lists.
Mm-hmm.
I think I
Mm-hmm.
could. Yeah, I could probably niche it down a little bit. Um, my clients are dealing with a critical voice, critical self voice, negative voice.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to make
Mm-hmm.
that a focus. Um, Women, specifically the ones who are like going through perimenopause, that's very
Ah,
specific
yes.
in the
Very
ailments
true.
with that. So yeah.
Yep, very true.
Mhm.
That's good. Um, okay. And so then we have your highest tier, you know, premium, you know, one-to-one offer. So this could maybe be if we're looking at a kind of therapy scenario, maybe this is intensives where we move up to intensives where we have, you know, half day, full day. You know, I have a client who started leaning into intensives, and she had a client who, you know, came to her about it, and so she started offering it. And this client was actually out of town, and so she would travel, but of course, you know, that was part of the payment, you know, for it, where, you know, the client had to foot all the, you know, travel expenses. You know, it doesn't have to be that extreme, but hey, even just having, you know, half day, full day intensives, maybe that's the third step. You know, this can vary. You know, you have to think about your own clientele and what would, you know, serve them best, what would get them, just think of it this way, what would get them results sooner. And typically that's intensives, but there might be other things like, hey, instead of them, you know, being a client, if you're a typical client with this typical diagnosis, you see, you know, once a week for, you know, once a week, or just say twice a month, every other week for 3 to 4 months. Well, what could we do to shorten that time frame? Instead of seeing them over 3 to 4 months, what could we do within, 1 to 2, if possible? I know you can't rush the therapy process by any means, but maybe there are certain scenarios in your experience where you see, hey, if we do this and this helps that client along even a little bit faster. So that's why I say this is kind of on you guys, because you're the ones with the experience in these scenarios, but just kind of want to throw out some ideas for you to think about on how you could get people there. Because one of the things I always say, people pay for transformation. That is what people pay for. They don't pay for a service, they pay for transformation. Can you get me from where I currently am that I don't like to where I currently want to be? And how can we get there reasonably, in your world, you know, faster than we potentially could, So that's really what it's about. So maybe, extended sessions. Hey, maybe if you go with, package 2 or 3, if your insurance covers a 50-minute session, hey, maybe for that 75-minute session, we increase the rate, but that's self-pay after the fact. We know that is should be huge for couples because, couples don't ever pay right via insurance. So that could be something that you do with couples. Looking at consulting and supervision, high support containers, premium packages with different access or maybe different touch points, different guidance that you will give them, so on and so forth. So you do have to naturally customize this to your ideal client profile, but these are all things that really help the client out overall that we need to be thinking about to mix in. Is everybody tracking so far? Kind of making sense? So as I talked about, we were kind of going to get into, 3-tier pricing for ongoing one-to-one clients. So, and then, I wanted to be sure to note, we're not offering better care at higher tiers. You're just offering different formats, access levels, different support structures, so on and so forth. Of course, we want to be ethical in everything that we do, but, hey, at the same time, we want to help clients as best we can. So this is just an example. So hey, maybe that base package, that bronze package is, hey, standard, 50 minutes. Maybe that tier 2 is we extend to a 60 or 75-minute session. Or maybe tier 3 is now we go to a 90-minute session. And so maybe on tier 1, if we are insurance-based company, hey, that's what your insurance pays for. But for tier 2, that's an additional amount, out of your pocket for tier 2 and tier 3. Maybe setting it up, some way like that. A scheduling. So on tier 1, hey, you look at the calendar, your scheduling is what it is. Most of the therapists I know are usually booked out for quite a little bit. But maybe what you do is you have, a couple of tier 2, tier 3 appointments that keep blocked off unless somebody specifically books those. So you get priority scheduling in maybe tier 2 or tier 3 where they can, look at that, session or two that you have blocked off that you wouldn't give to just anybody, but you keep just a couple reserved for, that specific case if somebody's in those packages. Um, tier 1, session by session. Tier 2, maybe we have a monthly package that comes with, 2 sessions or worksheets or, something like that. I know I know we talked about this with Jonathan a couple weeks ago, where you talking about creating your the AI version of you doing sessions, having some version of
It's gonna
that.
be fire. I
I'm
don't know when
telling
it's
you,
coming,
I'm
but if it
I'm
comes, it's
here
gonna be
for
fire.
it. I am here for it. So yeah, mixing something like that in, you know what I mean? That additional support. So that's what the kind of extras are. So yeah, so definitely some things we can do. So of course, hey, insurance or standard fee for tier 1, but then tier 2 is self-pay, additionally, so on and so forth. So this kind of just, like
Man,
I said,
hold
wants
on
to
real
get you
quick,
guys
guys.
thinking. Go ahead. No, go for it.
My bad. I seen somebody put on there that's something they've been thinking. I thought this was my idea. I thought I was the first person to come up with this, but clearly I need to get on it.
Listen, I've been talking about doing like what I think would really be fire if it's like a group practice with all these different avatars and different people. You want a Black therapist, you want a queer therapist, you want whatever the case is. And yes, if you have people who've already like licensed their likeness and
Their
everything, then
likeness. Yep.
everybody gets paid. Yeah,
So you
I've been
took it
thinking
to the
about that a
next
lot.
level. I was thinking small. I was just thinking having four of me. But now it's like, oh, we can have a little bit of everybody. I just pay you a little
You can
bit.
still
Hey, let me
have
get some.
for you. Yeah. Yeah, I've been thinking about it. So yeah, it's a great idea. So make it
Hmm.
happen because I've been dragging my feet.
It's coming.
That is
I gotta
good.
do it.
As I always say, action takers and money makers. So we got to start dragging our
I
feet.
love that.
Eh,
Take action.
Absolutely, absolutely. We have all the ideas in the world, but until we take action on them, you can't make money on it. And guess what? Even if it doesn't work out how you think, you prove the concept of whether it works or not. Because sometimes that version 1.0 isn't going to work. So you just need to get to the 1.0 so you get to the 2.0 and the 3.0. You know what I mean? Roll it out to see how it goes. But yeah, so is this kind of landing with anybody? Anybody kind of getting some ideas, anything you want to share? How do you guys think something like this works? I know it's a very different model for therapy, but at the same time, once again, you're running a business,
And
and
look, we
businesses are
cooking.
supposed to make money.
We
Go ahead. What are you
cooking
saying,
now, cause
Jonathan?
also I say we cooking now, cause just on top of that, to add to what she's saying, like you can have like that text messaging, like you can have 24 hour a day, whatever you need. You just gonna text this AI version, and people willing to do that.
That is true. And the good thing about that is that there are platforms
Yeah,
now where you can put your own ideas into. So it's not just a generalist, kind of AI thing. It's you, is what you've,
That's what I'm
talked about, what you
saying.
put into it, and then they are texting you. So absolutely. Surrounding.
Jonathan, you and I need to talk about the Cora tool. It's something I'm introducing in my clinic. It's so clinician will upload their treatment plan, and then it has 24-hour access to clients where they can, in between sessions, they can do
Hmm.
their exercises that the therapist gives them, and also chat if they need to. So that's something that I'm
See.
beginning to implement in my clinic. As with any new technology, therapists take a little bit of time to
See,
adapt.
but that
But
see something like that is perfect for like that tier two, tier three kind of thing
yeah,
where hey, if you want that, support, then hey, it costs extra. It's that extra level.
I like that. I like that. I mean, we're trying to do it through insurance because they are CPT codes we can
Oh, nice. Yeah.
submit to insurance, but there's always that. Yeah, there's. Anyway, so my question was, so that's for Jonathan, but I was just wanted to say that I think this is a great idea and I want to explore it. I'm going to have my quarterly meeting with my supervisors. I'm going to talk about this and say where and who can, because we do have an EMDR specialized therapist. We
Hmm.
have a play therapist and art therapist. I know we're already kind of doing group therapy sessions.
Yeah.
Again, though, we are just, billing insurance.
Yeah.
So I like the fact that we could probably try to do these tiers. My only concern is the demographic that my clinic serves. Like, I don't know. I don't know what your thoughts on this for all of you all, but I guess how do you know affordability, right? Whether they'll be able to afford this out of pocket or not. That's kind of my like concern in the back of my mind.
Hmm. Yeah, true. Does anybody have thoughts on it?
Man, people figure it out. They want it bad enough.
If
They
they'll
figure it
figure
out.
it out if they
I
want it, yeah.
mean, I do actually agree with that. Yeah, people will pay for what they want to pay for or what they
If they
value.
really
It's just what they
value,
if
yeah.
if they value that kind of that kind of access, people will figure it out. And then I think that way if you also have it as just a little bit of a uptick, on and of course you always kind of have to pay with pricing, see what the market is like. But if it's something valuable enough, hey, people will pay for it. 10 years ago, people weren't paying, $1,500 for a new cell phone, but they figured it out and they are now.
And they
You
buy it
know?
every year.
Payment plans. Payment plans always
Exactly.
helps.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then breaking it up into that's where we kind of look at even the payment structure where hey, if it's monthly, like taking that monthly package a little bit. So that brings the price down instead of a, big standalone chunk. So that makes it a little bit more, a little bit more manageable. So there's something in that.
I
Miss
love
Alexia,
this. Oh my gosh. I feel like going to the whiteboard now and start I'm gonna start doing that.
do it,
This is
Cerrone,
great.
do it. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I forgot I had put my hand up, but yeah, I
Oh,
think, gosh, what was your original question? I think it was like, what do we think about this? Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, these are things that are all there. And I think, like, this is just this reminder for me. Full transparency, I am like in the process of reversing burnout. So I
Mm-hmm.
have been kind of like in this like functional freeze. And one of the things that um, I am going to do, and I think you and I talked about this, Alan, was going back and getting a VA because I have a spruce messaging app offer that I've already put together. I just need to launch it. The group that I launched last week is a weekly space, but it's kind of like it has dual purpose. The first
Mm-hmm.
half of it's completely confidential. It's completely like anonymous, like I vet people who come to the group, but you don't have to turn your camera on. You don't even have to use the same name. It's kind of like its own little body doubling self-care space.
Mm-hmm.
The first half of it, I provide psychoeducation training, etc., which I am going to use to record and create these type of recorded options to be able to give to
Mm-hmm.
people. The second half of it is where I'm doing more one-on-one support. Um, and so that's something that I'm still working. Again, I just started last week. I have intensives that I actually put together.
Mm.
I already know how they look. I already know what the topics are. Um, so yeah, so for me, it's just like, investing and getting, I need someone to do it for me. Like my issue is
Mm-hmm.
not, it's not necessarily the ideas and the platform is the implementation.
Implementation, yeah. The time
Yeah, so,
constraints, of course, yeah. No,
yeah.
I love it. Yeah, I think that's good. And then Tiana asking about free consults. Charging them 25 and refunding.
Mhm,
Hey, or charge them 25 and apply it to their
mhm,
their first session. Now you'll get fewer consults, but you'll get higher quality though. So, and that's really what matters. Um, so yeah, I mean, heck, you get people buy-in just from having to pull out their credit card. So yeah, heck, even something as small as 15 bucks, 20 bucks, 25 bucks. I like it. Cause I always say people who pay attention. So if you're going to charge them up front, you're going to have a higher quality client. You'll have less tire kickers, but that's fine. Like Jonathan said, if you don't like them anyways, um, then you will get higher quality people. You'll get less, but higher quality. And hey, give them a credit. Yeah, yeah, because we can't have your time's too valuable to be wasted. And so let
I
me
knew I had to
see.
stop because I was
Uh-huh.
coming off like it was I didn't want to do it. So I just was like, I know I had to stop this. So I just stopped.
There you go. No, yeah, I think
mhm,
you're right. Yeah, because yeah, it becomes a time drain. And y'all's time is already scarce and valuable. So no, I agree. So then, I just have here like, upselling isn't, manipulation, it's being ethical. It's like, hey, giving people the value that they want. Obviously, if you want more, you have to pay for more. That's really what it's about. And so this allows you to match the client to the right offer, not just let me fit every client who comes in into this one offer. You see what I'm saying? Like that doesn't service everybody. And hence, as we talk about in business, that's how you leave money on the table. And so this was like a group cohort model. Just like, hey, if we get 10 people in the cohort, five 500 a month, 15K, average 9, hours per month. So hey, maybe we have bi-weekly, 90-minute calls, weekly async support where you do a video or email or portal, something like that. 3-month enrollment period. This generates 15 grand per cohort. So if this is like a specialized group, obviously the biggest piece of it, it needs to be specialized, specific pains that you're helping solve, so on and so forth. And that's where the value, really comes in there, and people will buy into that. As we talk about, hey, parents of children who are going to therapy or doing play therapy, or having groups of, different, whatever your niche specialty is. That's very, very possible in a short sprint if you lay out what the transformation is, because that's the biggest thing. Um, and so then here, I just want you to take this away. Think about what revenue lever you want to activate. So pick one of them, and get, like I said, action takers or money makers. So what action are you going to take? Are we thinking about charging more? Can we create a package to increase the value of it? Can we add a group? Can you build some kind of follow-up with clients, or for former clients reaching out? So your next level revenue might not necessarily require new business, just maybe better structure than what you have, and giving people more offers and giving them more value overall. Um, there we go. So I hope this was good. I want y'all to take really, really think about this. Take this away. Hey, how can we build this? How can we structure this? How can we, scale this to make more money overall? Any final notes? Just kind of resonating, hit home. So let's think about it. Let's, kind of start putting those ideas into action plans, so that we can roll with it. But thank you guys. As always, remember, the sooner you get to your dream practice, the longer you get to enjoy it, and we're here to help you every step of the way. Y'all have a blessed Monday.
Thank
Bye, y'all.
you.
Thank
Hey,
you.
Alan. Tammy, I
Hmm.
just wanted to check in and say that the Augusta rule documentation that I was going to. Okay, you got me,
Oh,
Tammy. Okay.
I sent it to you today.
Oh, you sent it to me. Okay,
No, no, no,
perfect.
no. I said I'll send it to you today. I sent it
Okay,
to you.
perfect.
okay, good. All right,
Awesome.
thank you.
Thank
All right, take
y'all. Have
care,
a good one.
everybody. Bye bye.
Bye.